Welcome to Couch Football with Luke, Ryan, and Caleb. Sorry, Ryan, I meant to introduce you as the pufferfish, but
Uh,
you
as it is a given.
you forgot to put your disguise on. So I feel like you've thrown off my groove for this episode now. So okay, the NFL schedule came out last week. Got to watch a couple of funny schedule release videos. I don't know if you guys watched any of those. I sent some to you, so I assume, unless you guys are just ignoring my text like you always do.
I
It's
did not watch
possible.
them.
The Chargers did a Halo theme. The Colts did a Simpsons crossover. The Bears did Bob Ross. And those were the only three that I watched, but they were solid. That's just become like a thing that's expected of NFL franchise now. So we're going to talk about some of the primetime games, some of the ones that we're most excited about. We're going to go over some betting odds. We're going to do win totals for some of the teams and talk about if we're going over or under on those. And then we are going to pick some division winners. So we'll jump right into it. So first things first, we'll talk about strength of schedule a little bit just for context. So strength of schedule, the Browns have the easiest at .429. That's the opponent's win percentage from last year. And then the Bears have the hardest schedule at .550. So we'll see what happens there. And then the most medium of teams would be the Giants at .498.
Well, I will say I was pretty surprised that the Browns had the worst schedule because they can't play themselves. So I was like, how do they have the worst schedule? Somebody else plays them.
The Dolphins have the second hardest.
That's just
Yeah,
because
they
they
can't
don't have a
play
QB
themselves.
right now. They'd probably take that into consideration, right?
Okay, so let's talk some of the primetime games. So the season starts off with the Patriots at the Seahawks for the Seahawks banner unveiling. So I think this will be like the fourth time in NFL history that it's a Super Bowl rematch for the opening game. I believe the last time would have been the Panthers and Broncos after the Broncos won Super Bowl 50. So let's take a winner for this one. Ready? On 3, 2, 1. Seattle.
Patriots. Oh.
Caleb did not pick.
I did not say anything, although it's going to be the Seahawks.
No, hey, you can't pick after the fact. It doesn't count.
Well, I just wanted to see who Ryan picked because he's usually wrong, so I picked the other one.
Oh.
Oh, fighting words.
No, I
Okay.
was surprised that they did a Super Bowl rematch for the first game because it's not like the Super Bowl was a good game.
That's
So
the funny thing. The Super Bowl was a blowout.
this one's going to be a blowout too, even more so because we'll be in Seattle. So
Yeah, so it's actually I'm not super thrilled. The whole week 1 primetime slate I'm not thrilled about. I'm not thrilled about Patriots Seahawks. And then, as we always joke, Sunday Night Football, week 1, it's always Cowboys Giants. No one ever knows why, because it's never a good game. It's never a good game. But we will have to endure that again. And then Monday night will be Broncos Chiefs, where both quarterbacks might not be playing. So
yeah,
go
I
ahead.
took that. Yeah, I took the Monday night game. The fact that they did Broncos Chiefs on Monday night for week 1, I was like, they must know something we don't. They must know that the quarterbacks are going to be ready to play. Because otherwise, why would you put that on prime time, right?
I don't
So,
think they know, because if they knew anything about what people want to see, they wouldn't put the Cowboys and Giants on Sunday Night Football for week 1 every year.
A lot
I'm
of
pretty
Cowboys
sure
fans
there's
out there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's some kind of like weird contract that they have to do Cowboys Giants. And
Yeah,
it's not a public knowledge thing, but I'm pretty sure it's like all the owners are like, no, it has to be Cowboys Giants.
it's because you get, you know what it is? It's because you get 3 weeks of the city of New York actually actively watching football before their hopes are dashed by both the teams that play for them.
Hmm.
So you got to
That's true.
capitalize on that early excitement before their spirit gets crushed later on as early as possible. So okay, so the Sunday night games for the first couple weeks. So it's Cowboys Giants. We talked about that. Week 2, it's Colts Chiefs. They're just gonna keep loading the Chiefs up on primetime without knowing whether or not Patrick Mahomes is actually gonna be playing. Then you got the Rams, Broncos, and then you've got Lions, Panthers, Ravens, Falcons, Cowboys, Packers, Chiefs, Seahawks, and Eagles, Commanders. Do any of those jump off the page for you guys? Any of those that you think are going to be must-see TV?
Oh.
I'll let Ryan go first.
I don't got it. Broncos, Chiefs. I'm a Justin Fields fan, so I like to see him play.
Broncos, Chiefs was not an option because that's the Monday night game.
Yeah, I kind of liked the 49ers Broncos game because I think that's actually going to have some. I was looking at the schedule for both those teams, and I think that's actually going to have some implications later who wins that game, because that's probably going to be the difference between 9 and 10 wins for those teams. So I think that's going to matter.
Game?
I think so. I have to double check, but I think so.
Okay. Yeah, for some reason I couldn't just get a primetime schedule for some reason. I have to filter it by the day of the week, which is kind of annoying, but the Monday night schedule, you've got Giants Rams week 2. So Giants get back-to-back primetime games. Once again, it's because they know the city of New York will only be watching for the first couple weeks, and then they'll turn the TV off for the rest of the season. Week 3, you got Eagles Bears. That'll be a fun one.
I was just going to mention, I actually was wrong. So Broncos 49ers is 325. I thought it was a 720 game. So that's actually not a primetime game. Yeah. But I still think that game will have some major implications later for the playoffs. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Falcons Saints week 4. Won't be thrilled to watch that one. Ryan will be because he's a closet Saints fan.
Yeah, well, that's a closet anymore. I mean, anywho.
Week 5, Bills Rams. That should be a good one. That'll be a good Monday night game. A lot of fantasy implications on that one. A lot of people going to win or lose their matchup based off of that one.
All offense. I bet the score will be 50-50, and they will tie.
Could be. The Bengals will be the interesting team when it comes to over-unders this year, if it's anything like last year. And if Joe Burrow can, stay healthy for Tuesday. The Bengals do not have a primetime game until week 9, I think, somewhere around there. And when I was talking to Caleb about it earlier, Caleb said, well, yeah, that's probably when Joe Burrow will be getting back from whatever injury he has at the time.
That's right. They planned it perfectly.
Week 6, Commanders-Niners could be a good game. Week 7, Cowboys-Eagles. I got Eagles taking that one. Week 8, Bears-Seahawks. Seahawks probably going to win that one. Bills-Vikings. Is there any hope in that being a good game? We don't have Robers here to comment.
Depends if they get their quarterback situation sorted out. Yeah. Is it going to be Murray? Is JJ going to take over halfway through?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Bills. The Bills really need to get their QB situation figured out. They'd be a complete. They'd be Josh Allen. They'd be a complete team if they could just get that figured out.
They fired their winning head coach. Might as well fire their winning QB.
Anywho, be a bold strategy. Chargers-Ravens could be a good game by week 10. And then week 11, Bengals-Commanders. Get the Bengals on Monday Night Football. The last time they played was Jaden Daniels' coming out party Monday Night Football 2 years ago, and that was a crazy game. So, yeah, I think the primetime slate, to be honest, I think it's a little underwhelming this year, just based off of, what teams were doing last year. But who knows, maybe the Giants are going to be a good team this year. Maybe the Falcons and Saints are going to be a good team this year. So, we'll see. Did you guys see the international game schedule?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, the 49ers are getting screwed, huh?
Yep.
Well, it's just for this year. I mean, they voted to have more international games, so there'll be more than one team in future years getting screwed.
They have to play in Australia, which I'm all for the international games. I actually think they're fun. I think it's fun to have a game playing at 8:30 in the morning here. If it's a Sunday, and you're just kind of having a lazy Sunday and you can just start watching football at 8:30, and you'll be covered for the entire day. But I feel like it's a stretch to do a game in Australia. That's a insane amount of travel time. The time difference is going to be crazy because it's like a day apart.
See, next year they're going to be like, all right, you guys are going to Mexico City. You guys are going to Jaguars. You'll go to London. And 49ers, you'll play on the moon this year.
Hey, we will have a moon base by 2029.
There you go.
We will first order of business is putting a stadium in for the 49ers. They're actually going to relocate them because of the whole the whole electrical substation just became too dangerous. So it's safer to send the team to the moon. That is where they will be playing their home games on the moon. Pretty nice. There's no electrical substation up there.
That's right.
Okay, but yeah, so the 49ers, they have to play in Australia, but then in November, they have to play in Mexico City. So they have to deal with getting jet lagged twice, and the first one will be the most jet lagged that an NFL team has ever been when they play the Rams. That one is just going to be tough, I think, just because, I don't know what the over-under is going to be for that game, but I'm taking the under all day. I can't imagine two teams that are trying to deal with, I'm sure they're going to get there a week or two ahead of time, but still. Two teams that far from home, I feel like it's going to be a very low-scoring affair. I don't think it's going to be the best showing for the NFL on a new continent.
Brian, my philosophy is if Luke takes the under, I take the over.
Yeah, how's that working for you so far?
He's always wrong.
That's bullcrap.
Do you just like to oppose both of us? I mean, are you on anyone's side here, or are you on no one's side? Is what it seems like.
I'm on my own side.
That's exactly what it seems like.
See, the Jags get a decent... I think they get their international schedule right every year because the last couple years and this year, they play back-to-back games in London, so they just stay there for the week. And I think that's a fine way to do it, but some of this other stuff is getting out of hand. Once you cross that equator,
I read somewhere that I think it was the 49ers owner wants them to play every year in Mexico City because they're trying to get a Mexican NFL base, fan base.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I guess there's a ton of Mexican Americans or whatever who live in that region. So they're trying to get them to go to Mexico City every year. And Kyle Shanahan hates it.
Yeah, I can imagine. I don't think the players like it either. So.
Well, at least you probably won't get jet lag too bad playing in Mexico City as opposed to, London or...
Yeah, and also, I mean, could you imagine a better place to take your family on a nice trip than Mexico City? So, like the highest crime rate in the whole world.
Yeah, but there are cheap things there. You can get a whole bag for a nickel.
That's right.
You can get a kid for a whole sixer.
How about a fiver?
No, that won't cover it. You'll be able to get a Chihuahua for that.
Is it the one that talks on the Taco Bell commercials?
That would be a great deal.
That same dog.
That was a deep cut.
Still kicking after all these years. It's because Chihuahuas live forever.
What were we talking about? Oh, football.
This podcast is getting out of hand. All right, let's switch over to the regular season wins. So we're going to do the over-unders on season wins for some of these teams. If you guys have specific teams you want to jump into on those, because we're not going to do every team, but if you have specific teams, shout them out, and we'll go through it. But I'll just start off with the Arizona Cardinals, because that's alphabetical. Okay, so Arizona Cardinals, over or under 4.5 wins?
Cardinals. Are we assuming Brissett gets signed to something?
Sure.
Okay. We go over for that.
Okay, that dude can't afford to hold out, all right?
I mean, he kind of has to at this point in his career. I mean, he hasn't gotten paid yet, really, and kind of needs to at some point.
I can see it now. He's just like, it's me or the fish man.
Okay, Caleb, over under 4.5 wins.
I'm gonna take under. Their division is too good. So
Yeah,
they have 6 losses.
I take under as well because the only 2 wins I have them getting are the Jets game and the Saints game. They could potentially also win against the Raiders, but we'll see. I've got them getting 2 wins. So
Man, pessimists over there.
the odds on that, by the way, under 4.5 is minus 140. You take over 4.5, it's plus 120. So
I know.
call us wrong. You can make some money. Okay, we'll keep it alphabetical for now. We'll go with Caleb's favorite team, the Atlanta Falcons, over under 7.5 wins.
Ugh. Dude, the Falcons are without a doubt the hardest team to pick like every year. I was telling Luke, Ryan, I never bet on the Falcons because they could beat any team any week, and then they can lose to any team any week. So the Falcons are the worst team to bet on. 7.5, pass.
You can't pass. You have to pick.
If I had to guess, I think they'll get less than 7.5, so I'll go over because they always do the opposite of what I think. So I'll say over.
Oh, they got Kevin Stefanski and Tua there right now, right? So could change some things.
I have them going under. I have them winning 6 games.
Man, right in the line right there. Even with that division, I mean, you got Carolina, New Orleans, Tampa. Are they the weakest in their division?
The Saints are the weakest in that division.
Whoa.
Actually,
we can talk
Luke,
about that later.
Did you know the Falcons are the betting favorite to finish last?
Yeah, that you know what?
So
I don't know. I don't think the Falcons are I don't think they're a terrible team, but we'll see. If the Saints are building up what Ryan thinks they're building up, then maybe the Saints are about to shock the world. But
it's not just me. It's not just me.
I have the Falcons beating the Panthers once. I've got them beating the Saints, and I've got them beating the Vikings, the Browns, and then I think they'll beat the Saints again, and then I think they'll win one game that no one expects them to win. So I've got them winning 6 games. So.
Yeah, there are 2 divisions that I'm not touching with a 10-foot pole this offseason, and the NFC South is one of them because legitimately I have no idea who's going to win that division, and neither do they, by the way. So, and any analyst who tells you they know, they don't know. So,
okay, Ryan, did you give us an answer? I don't think you did.
No, I did not. I chose Caleb's line and chose not to answer this one.
You have to pick.
Ryan is very wise. That is the wise move.
I mean, I didn't know it was an option until Caleb chose it, so I choose the same option.
7.5 wins, Ryan. Do you want me to tell you which one is negative money?
No.
All right.
But
one option is plus 115, the other is minus 135.
Well, okay. I'm gonna go over because Bijan Robinson is an animal, and they're just gonna feed him the ball.
He will be going first overall in fantasy drafts. That is for sure.
So yeah, I'm going over.
Not if I'm drafting.
You say 6.5, so 7 games.
No, it was 7.5. So
7.5.
You're taking them to win 8 games.
Ooh, that changes things. I take the under at that.
All right, the under is what's favored, minus 135. Okay. Do you guys have any that you want to shout out, or should I just keep working through the list?
So I got one that I think is kind of funny because it's been bet up this week because the line opened for the Cowboys at 8.5, and it is now at 9.5.
Okay, Cowboys.
It's bet up to 9.5. So.
All right, 9.5 wins for the Cowboys, which is a very Cowboysy line. A lot of people in Dallas will take the over because they're going to the Super Bowl every year. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, well, since I brought it up, I'll start. 9.5 is a sucker line. So is 8.5, by the way. Take the under 100,000%. First of all, their schedule this year. Have you seen their schedule?
I'm looking at it right now.
It is a brutal schedule.
Yeah.
Their division is going to be better than it was last year as well, and they did not get close to 10 wins last year. So Yeah, I don't see. Yeah, their defense is going to be a little better than it was last year, but I don't see how they even get close to sniffing 10 wins. That is the most off
Sniffing
line
lines,
I have.
Caleb.
Yeah,
We
that's
try to
right.
keep this
Sniffing
family
line.
friendly.
That as well. That is probably the farthest off projection that I've seen, and it's only off because it's the Cowboys and people buy into the hype. So taking the under 100%.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they'll beat the Giants twice. I think they will beat the Commanders once. And then I think they're losing to a whole bunch of people. They'll beat the Cardinals. They'll probably beat the Colts. They will beat the Titans. And I think they're losing the rest of their games. I think they'll win like 7 games.
The thing is, they might pull a couple of those games out. But even if they pull a couple of them out, they still end at 8 or 9 wins. That's the problem.
Right.
So, yeah, 10 wins is too much, man.
All right, Ryan?
About the Cowboys or just
Cowboys
any team?
over under 9.5 wins.
Cowboys? Yeah, I can see them getting 10 wins. We'll go over.
Caleb just called it a sucker line. Well, we just found our sucker, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, then I will be taking Caleb's money that he's betting.
It's plus money, Ryan. You can take it. Plus money.
I'm just saying I could see that.
Ryan is the definition of a gambler. Okay, let's go.
I was going to say I had another one to call out quick. I called this out with Luke earlier just because I think it's one of the hardest lines right now in general. The Pittsburgh Steelers are at 7.5 wins.
Oh, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they got their quarterback back?
I think that is one of the hardest lines to bet, 7.5. Because they got 10 wins last year, which I had to go back and do a double take on that because I was like, I felt like they sucked. How did they get 10 wins? But everybody kind of thinks they're going to be worse this year to an extent.
But Caleb.
And 7.5 feels like the perfect line.
But Caleb, they have a Hall of Fame quarterback.
That's a good point.
So did the Colts last year when they signed Phillip Rivers. And
they have a coach. They have a head coach with a historical winning record.
Do they? Does he have a historic?
Mike McCarthy.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah. I guess he does have a winning record.
He's got a winning record.
Yeah, from the same quarterback that dragged him to his winning record.
Brett Favre.
Yeah, that is a rough one. I'm curious what you guys think about this line. 7.5 wins.
All right, well, I'll run through it real quick and see. So I think they'll beat the Falcons. I think they will beat the Bengals once. I think they will beat the Browns twice. I think they will beat the Saints. And I think they will steal a win against the Panthers. And I think they'll beat the Titans. So I've got them at 7 wins exactly. So I guess I'm taking the under. I'm taking the under on all these, I guess.
You're just
Ryan, what do you think?
Luke. You know? Anywho.
He called me a pessimist, and now he's like, I have to take the over.
You don't have to do anything, Luke. You just be you.
I will say the under is plus money, and that's very tempting to bet.
So I'm going to take
better odds.
I'm going to take the over because I think they're going to end with 8 wins. And that's the problem. It has to be exactly 8. So if I could shop this line, because I think DraftKings has them at 8.5 over under 8.5.
FanDuel's
and
got
I would take
7.
the under there.
Yeah.
Right. FanDuel's got 7. I think DraftKings has 8. So 8.5. So I would bet it on DraftKings and I would take the under. But
all right.
And then go over to FanDuel and take the over.
That's right. And then if they get 8 wins exactly, it's raining money.
All right. Ryan still didn't answer.
Yeah, I could see him getting 8 wins. Wait, are we doing the 7.5 or the 8.5?
7.5.
I could see him getting 8 wins. Go with the over.
All right. Okay, I've got One of the easiest schedules in the NFL this year is the Lions. The Lions line is 10.5 wins, and it is dead split. Over 10.5 is -110, under is -110. So what's your guys' opinion on this one?
I personally, the other division that I alluded to earlier that I'm staying away from is the NFC North. I don't like this line at all. It's funny. I've seen a lot of people say, "No, take the Lions over. Take the Lions over," and I'm like, I know they have a better offensive line this year. I'm sorry, I know they have a better offensive coordinator this year than they had last year. Um, that being said, that division is brutal, and their schedule is not exactly easy either. I know it's an easy schedule as far as strength of schedule is concerned, but if you look at the schedule and actually how it lays out, they do have some pretty tough games in there outside of their division. Like they have to play the Bills. I think they play the Chiefs. There's some tough games with teams who I think are going to be better. Even the Panthers. Like I think the Panthers are going to be sneaky good. I think they're going to have some. I think they're going to be a tough out for a number of teams this year. So if I had to pick, I'd probably go over because I think they'll probably get 11. But I'm not betting it. I'll put it that way.
Well, I will bet the over because I think they'll beat the Saints. I think they'll beat the Jets. I think they'll beat the Cardinals. I think they'll beat the Vikings twice. I think they'll beat the Packers once. I think they'll beat the Dolphins. I think they will beat the Bears at least once. I think they'll beat the Falcons. I think they'll beat the Titans. And I think they'll beat the Giants. And they could beat the Buccaneers. Either way, I had them at 11 before I took them to beat the Buccaneers. So I would happily bet the over on this one.
Okay. Would you now?
I think the Lions are probably going to win the North.
They do have the easiest schedule in the North, right? So
it is weird how the Lions have one of the easiest schedules while the Bears had the hardest, and they're in the same division. It's a little weird how that played out. But
Packers have one of the hardest too.
They deserve it.
Okay, sure. The same rules apply not for the Packers that they do for the Bears. So okay.
What do you guys think of the? Well, I guess Ryan hasn't said yet for the Lions. What do you think of the Lions, Ryan?
Right.
What? Lions?
Answer fast.
I'm going with the crowd. They're going to go over.
You're supposed to say I can see them getting 11 wins.
I can see them getting 12 actually.
There you go.
I'm the one that could see them getting 12. I counted 12.
What do you guys think of the Bengals at 9.5?
The Bengals are another one of the hardest teams in football. Depends.
That is very ambitious.
Is Burrow gonna play the whole season? Probably not. So I take the under.
I didn't look that closely, but do you know if they got any upgrades on defense?
No.
They got. No, they do. They
grab
Lawrence,
Henderson
right?
or
no, they
No,
lost.
they got
Henderson.
Dexter Lawrence.
Oh, it went the other way.
Yeah, but they lost that trade because you don't flip a top 10 pick for a defensive tackle.
So I agree with that. But I do think that Dexter Lawrence is probably more impactful than that pick would have been this year. Now, the Bengals, you got to remember, Luke, the Bengals build their team like a kid builds a team in Madden, all right? They don't care about like offensive line and like actual like contracts and things, right? They just build to win now all the time.
Well,
so
that's why for the NBA, that's why I like to watch the Nuggets. It's because the Nuggets are the Bengals of the NBA.
That's exactly true. Yes.
They're like they build their roster and they're like, how could we possibly ever lose games? We have Jokic and Jamal Murray.
It's like it makes no sense. Yeah. So I think they will be a little better this year because I think Trey Henderson, and Dexter Lawrence is kind of a wash. But Trey Henderson rarely played last year, so at least Dexter Lawrence is going to play.
Yeah, but they didn't make the playoffs last year.
They did not. I think they only won like 6 games, so they didn't make the playoffs. But Joe Burrow was hurt most of the year again, right? So
Joe Flacco made it to the Pro Bowl. And
And you did make it.
and Joe Burrow did too. The Bengals had 2 quarterbacks at the Pro Bowl because that's the current state of the Pro Bowl.
Anyway, yeah, I think 9.5 is one of the hardest lines. It's hard because it feels like Ryan said, it feels ambitious. 10 wins feels like kind of high, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's why I took the under.
For a team that got half as many wins as they did losses the previous season.
Right, but here's the thing: the under is plus 120 right now on FanDuel, so pretty
That
good
seems
money.
pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm taking the under on this one.
I'm
I probably
joining both
will.
you guys.
Yeah, when I do go through to do these bets, that is probably one that I will confidently take. Okay, let's rapid fire a couple of these, and then we'll move on to division winners. So the Chiefs over under 10.5 wins, and I mean you have to assume Patrick Mahomes might miss the first 3 games of the season. So will they be able to recover that fast off of that? So what are your guys' thoughts on this?
Are we just quick under?
Yeah, you could go. Yeah, but kind of a lightning round. But yeah, if you got 1 or 2 things you want to say, then go for it. Otherwise, yeah, just over under.
If Pat Mahomes sits for a couple games and Rashee Rice had that knee cleaning. I mean, is he at 100%?
Oh my gosh, dude, Rashee Rice. Like,
Anywho,
Josh Gordon 2.0. That's what he is.
kind of feels like it right now.
Hey, Luke, play the clip from Parks and Rec straight to Joe.
Yeah.
I feel that line is ambitious, and so I'm taking under.
Okay, Caleb, over under 10.5.
Yeah, I'll go under as well. Even not taking Rashee Rice into maybe it's something with the last name Rice. You know, people with the last name Rice get in trouble.
Ray Rice. What a guy. What about Kenneth Walker? They just got him at running back.
That's true. I do think that will help them, but I think they'll make the playoffs. I just don't think they'll win 11 games.
What about Jerry Rice? What kind of trouble did he get into?
Nah, that was before. That was he was from a different generation. This generations of Rice are no good.
What about Jasmine Rice?
Not a who that is.
It's a type of rice, you oaf. Caleb doesn't know because he can't get it from a drive-thru.
They serve it at Taco Bell. I probably had it. I take the under. I think their schedule's pretty tough. I do think they'll make the playoffs, but I think they'll sneak in as a wild card.
Yeah, I take them at the under because I think they'll get exactly 10 wins. Okay, Rams over under 11.5.
That's a high line. I'll take the under on that.
I will take the over. Ryan?
I'm gonna take the under. Is Puka gonna be out of rehab start of the season?
Yeah, he'll be out.
Okay.
He'll be out, and then he'll all of a sudden re-download Twitter, and then he'll be gone for a little bit.
Just so everyone's aware, their star receiver went to rehab. You know, some people might have forgotten.
I think there are a lot of pro athletes that go to rehab in the offseason and you just don't hear about them.
Oh, you're just assuming things right now.
All right, the Jets over under 5.5 wins. with Mr. Ain't right back as their QB.
Take the under. I think Gino's gonna throw picks just to spite him. Just be like, you should have never let me go.
Yeah, I am in agreement with the under in this situation.
Yeah, then we're all taking the under.
Oh, joining us. I see how it is.
All right, I think this one is one of the tougher ones. Washington Commanders over under 7.5 wins. I think this is a big make it or break it for Jaden Daniels. Was the rookie season just a lot of beginner's luck, or is he actually going to be a good QB, or is he going to get injured again and we'll just never know? He'll just be ambiguous, the most ambiguous quarterback of all time. We think he might have been good, but we have no idea.
It's that one, by the way. Yeah, I go under on this. I think they're going to get 7 wins, and I also think Jaden Daniels is going to get hurt again, unfortunately. So the way that coaching staff uses him makes no sense. Why was he in that game that got hurt in the first place?
Because he's RG4, that's why.
Oh, let's hope not.
Huh?
Yeah, I take the under again. They don't know who they have at running back. The receivers are getting old and are.
What if they get Stephon Diggs, the youngest receiver in the world?
Isn't Diggs like 28, 29?
He's like 32.
No, even worse. So yeah, I feel their offense will not be able to win them games. So I'm taking the under.
Okay. I'm actually going to take the over because I think that they will win exactly 8 games. So I got them winning 8 and then losing. Or not making the playoffs, I mean.
Last year they went 5-12. So
Okay, I think that's all well, you know what?
just saying. Not trying to diminish your line at all. I'm just
What?
letting everyone know.
One more because we have to do it. The Chicago Bears, over under 9.5 wins.
I mean, if you don't look at their schedule, I'm smashing that. They're getting more than 9.5 wins. But when you take the strength of the schedule into account, I'm still taking the over. We're going at least 10 wins for the Bears.
I saw Kyle Long did their schedule today on NFL Network, and he has them at 14-3. So,
jeez, that is crazy.
A former Bears player has them winning a bunch of games. What a surprise! It would have been more surprising.
I was like, I agree.
It would have been more surprising, Caleb, if he would have been like, "Nah, they're gonna be terrible." The Bears, not a good team.
I mean, I guess it's possible.
Yeah, I have to take the under, unfortunately. I think they'll be good, I hope, but I don't think they're as good a team as last year. So how can I possibly take, more win? I mean, they got 11 wins last year. Their schedule's harder, and I don't think they're as good of a team. I think their offensive line is significantly worse. So I can't take them winning more games. It makes no sense. So.
Their games, one thing is for sure, their games will definitely not be as exciting as their games were last year. And I think the NFL is going to realize that because they've got the Bears playing, I want to say 5 primetime games, somewhere in that area. And it's all because of the late game magic that was happening last year. And I don't see that happening because I have confidence in that offense, but you don't just get, 6-game winning drives a year. That doesn't just happen. So I don't think that's prescriptive at all. So
you don't just get them, you earn them. Am I right, Ryan?
That's what I've heard.
Sorry. I'm gonna run through the Bears schedule before I give my final take because I'm gonna go through the games that I think
we all know your final take. You don't even have to run through the schedule.
Oh really? What's my final take, Ryan?
You're gonna take the under.
Oh really? Let's find out. All right, they will beat the Vikings.
100%. I will bet Caleb money that you're taking the under.
They will.
Hang on, Ryan. What are the odds?
I will give you 10-1 odds.
Ooh, I will take it.
In Tootsie Roll currency.
Right, I can hear this, right? I can just skew this and then make a side deal.
No, your inner monologue won't let you skew it. We're talking about your Bears here, that is.
All right, they will beat the Vikings. They will beat the Jets. They will beat the Falcons.
3-game winning streak.
I think they will beat the Saints.
They play the Vikings twice, so.
I think that they will beat the Jaguars. They'll beat the Dolphins. I think they'll beat the Packers once. And you know what? I think they'll beat the Vikings twice. And that is 8 wins. So Ryan is correct. I am taking the under.
Almost like I know you.
I feel like
if they had a regular schedule, I would have gone with 10 wins. But this schedule is terrible.
Well, I will say it could have been a lot worse. The Bears do not play any teams off a bye, so it could have been a lot worse, right? Because no teams have extra rest when playing them. We got to do one more, I think, before we wrap that up.
Okay.
Minnesota Vikings for Rover.
Come on, not the Packers.
No, Ryan. Caleb was right. We have to appease the one listener.
Oh,
Minnesota
Okay.
Vikings at 8.5 wins. What say you?
And Justin Jefferson's pretty good. I mean,
All right, I will do this. I will do this because Robers is such a patron of the show. He, Andy's handsome. I'm just gonna start straight up pandering to him.
I think
and the Vikings had a positive record last year.
with how much Luke's buttering Rovers up, I'm assuming he's going to be like under.
that is what's happening. I'm trying to cushion the blow, see, because they're definitely gonna lose the Packers. I think they'll lose the Bears twice. I just said that. I think that they will lose the Buccaneers. They will beat the Dolphins. I think they'll beat the Saints. I think they can beat the Colts. I think I could see them beating the Niners, and I could see them beating the Falcons.
The Mike Evans Niners? Are you sure?
Yeah, that is their official name now.
Yeah.
Actually, it was the Miners.
And then I think
Wait a minute.
and then I think they'll beat the Jets. And then they could beat the Commanders. So I've got them at 6 to 7 wins. They're at 8.5. So I'm going with the under on that, which is the favorite, by the way. That's minus 120. So it's not a super ambitious take.
I got no reason not to take the under. Although they did get positive last year. I don't know if they're the same team.
Ryan, what if they play Kyler Murray and JJ McCarthy at the same time? Like how that Team USA flag football team plays.
Ooh, 2 QB options? It has potential. I mean, they didn't remember the Titans and it worked out, so. Mm-hmm.
No one remembers the Titans, Ryan. They suck.
Jeez.
So I was so
Ridley.
ready. I was so ready. I actually even had this in my season parlay. I was so ready to slam the under on this. 8.5. I was like, that is way too high. That team is terrible. There's no way. They have no, you have 2 quarterbacks, it means they have no quarterback, right?
Caleb, if you're going to just dog on Rovers' team, you have to at least call him handsome.
But then I looked back and they won 9 games last year.
Without a quarterback.
How the heck did they win 9 games last year? I remember them being terrible. How did they win so many games? They had a winning record last year
Caleb,
with no quarterback.
Caleb, do you want to know why it was? It was because they had a direct line at a good draft pick, and instead they said, a good draft pick? No, thank you. And then they won out their last 4 weeks.
So they're kind of like the Bears in the sense that I think Kyler Murray is an okay quarterback. He's much better than they had last year. And so, to me, they're a better team. So, I don't see why they can't win 9 games again. They did it last year, and they had a terrible team. So, I'll take the over.
They beat everyone in their division at least once. So
that is impressive. I will take the over. In those division games, you know what it is? This line, 8.5, it is literally a we believe in Kevin O'Connell line. Because there's no reason that line should be there, except for that fact. So.
All right. Well, if we're going to do Rovers' team, we should do Ryan's team. The New Orleans Saints, over under 7.5 wins.
Oh, my goodness. Wait, what, 10.5? Yeah, that sounds about right.
7.5.
Oh, my bad. I misheard. That's my fault. Do I start, or do we want to leave 10 minutes at the end for me to go off on this?
No, Ryan, you start.
Oh, I start. So the Saints team with the most promising, not rookie anymore, but last year, most promising rookie quarterback.
Ever. In the history of football. No rookie has ever stood up to him.
They picked up some more talent at running back. They got the best receiver in the draft. How do you not smash the over on that line, especially being in their division? Who, anyone can win that division, but historically easier than others. So the Saints are doing much more. Well, I don't know if I should go all the way off the deep end and say much more. They're doing more than what the line will say. So I'm taking the over.
All right, Ryan says over 10.5 wins. You heard it here.
Sorry, I choked a little bit. Yep, 10.5 wins. That's what I said. Oh my.
I am taking.
As I say, you could probably get some positive money on that, Ryan. 10.5.
Jeez.
I am taking the under. It's fun. The line is actually hilarious. It's over 7.5 is -105, and under is -115. I am taking the under, but I will say in that division, their division they could get 7 wins just off their division alone. So we'll see what happens. They still play the Raiders too. So
You gonna rethink that?
nope, I'm going with the under.
Okay.
Right. Caleb?
I will take the over. I like the Saints this year. I think that it was very telling when they did not shop Chris Olave last year to their faith in Tyler Shuck. So, yeah, I got Juwan Johnson. He's an up-and-coming tight end on yours truly's fantasy team.
I was
so.
gonna say you guys. The only reason you guys ever like the Saints is because of your own fantasy teams. Ryan got Tyler Shuck in Dynasty, so he's just pounding the drum for him because he thinks that he thinks an exec from the Saints might actually stumble across the show and be like, "Well, this guy says that we need to get Tyler Shuck."
So it's not just Shuck.
Yeah.
Ryan's just hoping that his league members listen to this show and be like, Tyler Shuck, maybe he's worth a lot.
Sell him.
All right, Ryan. I will give you 3 years of first rounders for Tyler Shuck.
What?
And Ryan will say, "No deal."
He's worth 4.
All right. That'll do it for.
Oh, you heard it, guys. He said, all right. That means it's a trade.
It's not even in the same league that we're talking about.
Well.
Okay, that does it for win
You
totals.
heard it here. You heard it here. Luke and Ryan are not in the same league.
That's right.
I'm in the Premier League. He's only in Champions.
All right. That was win totals. Let's do division winners now. All right, the favorite to win the AFC East is the Buffalo Bills at -135, then the New England Patriots at +140, then the Jets at +2,000, then the Dolphins at +3,000. Who's winning this one?
Well, it's a neck and neck contest between the Jets and the Dolphins. I guess I'll go with the Bills.
All right, Ryan?
Yeah, we'll go with Bills. I had to think about it for a little bit because the odds were just too unbelievable.
All right. I'm also taking the Bills. All right, AFC North. We've got the Ravens at -20, the Bengals at +185, the Steelers at +600, and the Browns at +1,700. We will start with Ryan.
Can you say them again? Sorry, I missed.
The Ravens at -120, the Bengals at +185, the Steelers at +600, and the Browns at +1,700.
Depending on if Baltimore can grab one of the old receivers and strengthen that receiving core, I'm taking the Ravens. I'm taking the favorite.
Okay. Caleb?
I think this is the year that Joe Burrow stays healthy. Let's go Bengals.
Funnily enough, I was going to say the same thing. I know I took the under on the Bengals, but that's under the assumption that Joe Burrow gets injured. If he doesn't get injured, I think the Bengals could win the division. I think they're just going to need a lot of help on the defense. Probably make a blockbuster trade before the deadline for Myles Garrett in division.
That'd be a good trade.
That trade would never happen. Trading the best pass rusher in the league to a division rival midway through the season.
It'd be a smart trade. I'm just saying it'd be a good trade.
Okay, AFC South. We've got the Texans at +135, the Jaguars at +195, the Colts at +340, and the Titans at +950. I will start this one, and I'm going to take the Jags at +195. I've always been a naysayer of Trevor Lawrence's, but when I got up on my soapbox last year and talked mad crap about him and the Jags, that all of a sudden they started winning games and they made the playoffs. So I think this year I'm going to be a closeted Jags fan. That way I don't look foolish again on the podcast. So I'm taking the Jags.
Interesting.
All right. Well, yeah. Well, you go with Ryan.
No. I was gonna say I don't think it's liking the Jags. I think it's not liking the Texans that kind of pulled you in to that decision. But
that too. CJ Stroud just keeps getting worse and worse. So at this point, I think he's going to be averaging 3 picks a game this year. So
Okay, Caleb can go. I don't want to screw up the order now.
Okay. Yep. I'm going to take the Texans, not because I don't agree with you for CJ Stroud. I do think he's regressing, and let's see if he can right the ship. But I think the Texans defense is the best in the league, and it's going to win them at least 6 games just by their defense. So I'll take the Texans.
The Texans are like the new Bears, and the Bears are like the new, I don't know, a team that has offense. It's a weird world to be in as a Bears fan. All right, Ryan?
Texans as well. You guys have pretty much summed it up.
All right.
I'm kidding. I took the Jags.
I'm sorry. I couldn't tell because you didn't have any inflection in your tone that was a joke.
Yeah, the word said something, but I meant something else. So
I see. Okay, AFC West. We've got the Chiefs at plus 175, the Chargers at plus 185, the Broncos at plus 210, and the Raiders at plus 1600.
Which is pretty crazy that they're all.
Yeah, we'll start with Ryan.
Me?
Yeah.
Sure thing. Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos are all really close, which is very surprising with this division. But, I mean, you have Pat Mahomes maybe sitting for a couple games, and the Chargers, they kind of lose games they're supposed to win. So I guess they're all kind of close. But
Especially
you have the
in the
Broncos who went, 14-3 last year? How are they not the best odds to win the division this year? Even with strength of schedule, I can't see it. So I'm taking the Broncos.
I am also taking the Broncos, and I will likely be betting on the Broncos for this when I go to do season parlays, because plus 210 for a team that got 14 wins last year seems like really good odds. And they should be, I assume Bo Nix will be healthy by week 1, so they should be able to stand up there with the best of them in the AFC. So, all right, Caleb?
3 for 3. You guys said it. I had the Broncos as well. So all the reasons you just said, and I don't know if Pat Mahomes is going to be ready for week 1. So they seem like the logical option. I was surprised that they were third in odds.
Okay. NFC East. Got the Eagles at plus 140, the Cowboys at plus 200, the Commanders at plus 420, the Giants at plus 550, and the London Silly Nannies at plus 800.
Ooh. They're a good team.
All right, we'll start with
go.
Caleb. Yep.
I will be going with the Silly Nannies. Obviously, the value is there.
Interesting choice.
Now, for this one, I'll go with the Eagles. I think that they're the most complete team in the East. So, yeah, I don't love any of these teams, to be honest, but they seem like the most complete team right at this point. So,
all right, Ryan?
The Eagles. Now, remember, you said the Cowboys was a sucker bet. So if I take the Cowboys here, does that make me a sucker?
You were already a sucker when
double
you took
sucker.
her over.
Okay.
Double Jeopardy sucker.
Okay, well, I have to take the Cowboys now. I mean, they got the potential to be there. Now, the Eagles probably a little bit more complete, but they're going to be missing their star receivers. So I think the Cowboys have a better offense, and that'll get them the wins.
Ryan,
Go Cowboys.
I mean, they missed him last year, too. They just threw it right over his head over and over again.
Yeah.
Ryan, are you a pufferfish or a suckerfish? But not butts. I am taking the Eagles at plus 140. I do agree with a lot of what Caleb is saying, where I don't love any of these teams. I mean, the Giants could shock the world with John Harbaugh. They could. And the Cowboys have probably the best receiving duo in the league. I think Pickens and CD are probably the best. I know Puka and Devontae are up there, but Devontae's old. And kind of touchdown dependent last year. Just throwing it out there. But, yeah, I'm going with the Eagles. All right, NFC North. Got the Lions at plus 160, the Packers at plus 230, the Bears at plus 320, and the Vikings at plus 500. I already said I think the Lions are going to win this one, so that's my pick is the Lions. Now one of you go.
After you, Caleb.
All right, I will go. Yeah. This is a hard one. I said I wanted to stay away from the NFC North. I think I'm going to go think I'm gonna go with Green Bay. I don't love it, obviously, as a Bears fan, but when I looked at their schedule and I looked at their games last year, they won a number of games last year by one score, like 3 points, 4 points. Obviously, the Bears beat them at the last second in Soldier Field. Um, those games flipped the other way, and they could be, 11-6. So I'm going to take the Packers, I think.
One of the few teams to tie last year.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, Ryan.
Well, you guys should be ashamed of yourself. Two Bears fans not taking the Bears as a division winner.
We'll jinx them if we pick them.
Yeah, I know that's exactly what you're thinking right now. I don't know about Caleb, but you for sure, that's exactly what you're thinking. I can't pick the Bears because if I pick them, then, reverse psychology, though.
It is bad luck, Ryan.
Yeah. Well, since
I tell my wife, we're about to have our next baby, and I told her, you have to eat the placenta, otherwise it's bad luck.
Also, you're not supposed to see a bear on its wedding day.
That's crazy. Anywho, since closeted Satan's fan, so I think I can take this line and not introduce any bad karma. I'm taking the Bears.
You jerk! You just screwed over the whole
closeted
season.
Saints, there is no bad mojo here. Anywho,
I'm gonna blame Ryan when the Bears don't win 10 games.
Well, will I get thanks from Robers then if the Bears don't? Maybe Brett will give me a call and say, "Hey, thank you for that. Packers needed it." Anywho,
that's right.
Bears.
He did it for the fan. Okay, NFC South got the Buccaneers at plus 190, the Saints at plus 280, the Panthers at plus 300, and the Falcons, sure enough, plus 310. Well, I don't remember who started. Oh, I started the last one. Caleb, you can start this one.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. They had one of the weirdest ends of the season last year. It just didn't make sense. They were pretty good. They beat the Seahawks. Remember, they were a good team.
Mm-hmm.
And then until they weren't. And it really made no sense why they went from being good to bad.
Receiver injuries.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to take Tampa Bay. I actually really like Ruben Bain they got in the draft. So I think that's really going to help the defensive line. So I'll go with Tampa Bay.
They named a sandwich after him.
Oh, yeah?
All right.
He's a very old rookie.
I think I'm actually going to take Carolina at plus 300. When I go through and I'm doing actual bets for the season, I think that this is going to be one I take because Carolina at plus 300, even if I'm not super confident in them beating out Tampa Bay, I mean, they still made the playoffs last year. So plus 300 is, I think that's better odds than taking the Broncos to win the West. So I'm going to go with Carolina. And we all know who Ryan's taking. So Ryan, go ahead and say
it. Big fan of Bryce Young. We're going Panthers in a surprising twist.
See, he doesn't want to jinx the Saints because he understands. He just doesn't ever want to admit it.
I guess you have the Bears, but a team going from worst in the division to best in the division usually doesn't happen. So I think the Panthers are a good call. I'm a fan of what they're doing down there. Bryce Young, you got Jalen Coker, both on the fantasy team, shockingly. But no, I think they have weapons that will allow them to beat out Tampa Bay for wins. Tampa Bay is just weird. After that end of last season, I don't know if you can trust them. So,
all right, and then final division, we've got the NFC West. We've got the Rams at plus 130, the Seahawks at plus 170, the Niners at plus 270, and the Cardinals at a whopping plus 3,000. Ryan, who are you taking?
Man, Cardinals at plus 3,000. That sounds
all right,
like
he's taking the Cardinals at plus 3,000.
Oh my! Well, you heard it here first, I guess. It's really tough because you have the Rams, good offense, great team. You have Seattle, good offense and defense, great team. San Francisco, they're the San Francisco Miners right now, so I am going Seahawks. I am picking the Super Bowl champs to win their division.
Okay, Caleb.
Yeah, between the Seahawks and the Rams, 49ers are just getting a little old, and I don't know how Kittle's going to be this year coming back. Um, I'm going to go with the Rams. It's close. I think the difference maker for me was the Seahawks losing Kenneth Walker, because I actually do think that matters, especially because their other running back, whatever his name was, Charbonnet, didn't he tear his Achilles or his ACL or something at the end of the season?
It was
That's why they drafted Price.
Yeah, but rookie running back, I don't know. I think Walker mattered a little bit more than they would like to admit, actually. So I think he's going to help the Chiefs, and that's why I think they're going to make the playoffs. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Rams because those teams were neck and neck last year, and the Rams didn't really lose anybody. So
all right. I am going to go with the Rams for this season, but I will say I think this season is Super Bowl or bust for them because I know Stafford won MVP last year, and I think he will be a serviceable. I think he will be a top 10 quarterback this year. But I think after this year, his window of being a top tier quarterback is closed. So I think this is Super Bowl or bust for them because I don't know what they were thinking with the Ty Simpson draft pick. I think this is Super Bowl or bust for them, and that's why I don't understand using your first pick on a backup quarterback because the Rams are not they're not the most complete team in the NFL. So using your first pick in the draft for a contingency plan didn't make any sense to me. So, and it didn't make any sense to Sean McVay either. So
They traded up too, right? So it wasn't really their first pick; it was someone else's first pick. Anyway.
Okay. Well, that does it for our schedule release reactions and our division winners. Next month, we will be doing Super Bowl picks and some other stuff, so stay tuned. Thanks for listening, and we are out.